Martell Holt is back in the headlines, and this time, it's for something that's sure to get people talking, a full custody battle for his kids. While many of us have been watching the messy drama between Martell and his ex-wife, Melody, unfold over the years, this latest move feels like it's something bigger than just co-parenting issues. Martell's decision to fight for full custody of the children, especially after they've been co-parenting for so long, raises a lot of questions. Why now? What's really going on here, and does Martell even stand a chance at winning? Let's start by breaking down the situation. If we're being honest, it's hard to ignore the timing of this whole custody battle. Martell and Melody have been co-parenting for years now. They've had their disagreements, sure, but for the most part, they've managed to make it work for the sake of their children. That is, until Martell suddenly decided to go to court and demand full custody. Now, if Martell was truly concerned about the well-being of his kids, it's strange that he hasn't taken this step sooner. After all, he and Melody have had some rocky moments over the years, but they've also managed to work through a lot of them without this being an issue. So why now? The more you look at the situation, the more it feels like this is about something other than just the kids. It's almost as if Martell is trying to get back at Melody for her success. We all know that Melody has been out here building her brand, securing endorsements, traveling, and just doing her thing. Meanwhile, Martell has been struggling. His construction business fell apart, his real estate ventures aren't doing too hot, and honestly, he's had a rough time since the whole affair scandal with his side chick. The more successful Melody becomes, the more it seems like Martell can't handle it. Remember when she dropped her skincare line? Martell was throwing shade at her, and it was pretty clear that he wasn't happy to see her thriving without him. And now, we have this custody battle, which is giving off major revenge vibes more than concern for the children. Let's not pretend that money doesn't play a role here. Child support isn't cheap, and Martell has been struggling to make ends meet ever since his businesses fell apart. We've seen him publicly beg for business partnerships, and it's clear that he's not rolling in cash the way he used to. So, what better way to avoid those hefty child support payments than to try and get full custody? If Martell gets custody, he could flip the script and have Melody paying him instead. This is a financial move, plain and simple. Of course, he's trying to paint it like he's doing this for the kids, but when you break it down, it seems like he's more concerned about his wallet than anything else, and let's not forget the history here. Martell's track record as a father isn't exactly stellar. He cheated on Melody, had a baby with another woman while still married to her, and publicly humiliated his entire family. And if that wasn't enough, his side chick, Ariane, has publicly called him out multiple times for not being a consistent father to their child. So now, Martell wants to take full custody of 4 kids. The man has struggled to be a present father to one child, and now he wants to uproot his other kids from their stable home life. Martell's behavior throughout this entire process also raises some serious red flags. Every chance he gets, he's publicly bashing Melody. He's been throwing shade, making accusations without proof, and airing their private business on social media. He's even had some pretty messy interviews where he's aired out their dirty laundry for the world to see. The thing is, the courts are not dumb. They can see right through this kind of behavior. If Martell were genuinely concerned about what's best for the kids, he wouldn't be out here making their issues everyone else's business. He wouldn't be using social media as a platform to shade Melody at every opportunity. The courts want to see emotional maturity from both parents. They want to know that both of them can put aside their personal feelings and do what's best for their children. But Martell? He's been doing everything but that. Let's talk about the qualifications here. If Martell is serious about wanting full custody, then surely he must have a solid track record as a responsible, mature, and drama-free parent, right? Well, let's just take a quick look at his past. He cheated on his wife, had a baby outside of his marriage, publicly embarrassed his family, and has a history of poor decision-making. He's also been known to air out his dirty laundry on social media, throw tantrums, and lash out in public. Now, is this the kind of behavior that screams, full-time responsible dad? Of course not. And let's not forget, he's not even consistently present for the child he has with Ariane, so it's hard to believe that he'll suddenly step up and be a rock-solid parent to 4 kids. Now, let's compare this to Melody. Melody has been the one who's been handling everything for the kids. She's been there for their school activities, their home life, and making sure they're financially secure. While Martell has been bouncing between failed business ventures and reality TV opportunities, Melody has been out here building businesses, securing bags, and making sure her kids are taken care of. If we're talking about who's been the responsible parent, it's clear that Melody has been the one doing the heavy lifting. She's the one who's been providing stability for the kids, while Martell has been busy creating drama and trying to stay in the spotlight. So, if we're talking about what's truly best for the kids, shouldn't the judge be looking at who's been the most stable and responsible? It's not about who can throw the most shade or who has the loudest rants on social media. It's about who's been providing a stable, loving, and secure environment for these children. And when we look at the facts, it's pretty clear that Melody has been doing just that. Now, let's play devil's advocate for a second. What if Martell actually has a shot at winning this case? What if there's some legal loophole he's banking on? Well, let's break it down. Family courts almost always prioritize stability for the kids. A judge isn't going to just hand over full custody because a parent says they want it. They're going to look at who has been consistently providing for the kids and making sure they have a stable routine. And when we look at that, it's Melody all the way. She's been the one handling the kids' school, their activities, and their general well-being. Martell, on the other hand, has been bouncing from one reality TV show to the next, trying to stay relevant, while Melody has been focused on making sure her kids are set up for success. Unless Martell can prove that Melody is an unfit mother, which seems highly unlikely, there's no way the judge is going to take these kids away from her. The courts don't just switch up custody arrangements without a serious reason, and "I don't want to pay child support" isn't a serious reason. The judge is going to look at Martell's past behavior. They're going to consider his financial struggles, his cheating scandal, and his general instability. They'll also take a hard look at how he's handled conflict in the past. If he hasn't shown the emotional maturity needed to co-parent effectively, that's going to be a problem for him. In contrast, Melody has shown that she can handle herself like an adult. She's been calm, collected, and focused on doing what's best for her children. She's shown responsibility, maturity, and dedication to her kids. The judge isn't going to ignore that. So, in the end, Martell's chances of winning this case are looking slim. It's hard to imagine a judge taking kids away from a stable home environment, especially when there's no clear evidence that the mother is unfit. But let's not ignore the fact that this whole situation is messy. It's messy for Martell, it's messy for Melody, and most importantly, it's messy for the kids. No matter how much drama they've been through, at the end of the day, they are still children who deserve to feel safe, loved, and stable. They shouldn't be caught in the middle of their parents' ongoing battle. It's one thing to have disagreements behind closed doors, but when it turns into a public custody battle with social media drama, interviews, and court hearings, that's next-level messy. The real issue here is the emotional toll this is taking on the kids. They're old enough to understand what's going on, and they're old enough to feel the tension. They know when their parents are fighting, and they don't want to be in the middle of it. The last thing they need is to be pulled from the stable environment they've grown accustomed to. And if Martell truly cared about what was best for the kids, he'd focus on co-parenting smoothly with Melody instead of dragging her to court and making everything even more complicated. At the end of the day, this whole custody battle feels more like a revenge move than a genuine concern for the kids. If Martell were really thinking about what's best for his children, he'd keep the peace, put aside his personal issues with Melody, and work on being the kind of parent they need. Instead, he's stirring the pot and making their lives even harder than they already are. So, what do you think? Is Martell really fighting for his kids, or is this just another attempt to get back at Melody? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.